In this video, we'll be covering dictionaries in Python. There are several ways to create a dictionary. One method is to use the curly braces. So we're going to create a variable called D, and then an opening bracket or curly brace. And we're going to just set A to 1, then B to 2, and finally C to 3. And our closing curly brace will end the variable declaration. If we go ahead and print, we'll just get our dictionary returned back to us. There are several more ways to create dictionaries. We can also call the dict function, so I'll just use the same variable name and our dictionary function, and we're going to have key parameters. We'll set A equals 1, B equals 2, and C equals 3. And then if we go ahead and print that same thing out, we're going to get the same thing in return. Now notice that whenever you print a dictionary, it's going to print out using the curly brace format, just like the first way that we initialize this. There are a couple of other ways here. Let's go ahead and create another one. We can also use two different lists. So if we so we have to call a zip function as well. So the first argument is going to be a list. And the second, so those are going to be our keys. The second argument is going to be a list of values. If we go ahead and print this, we will get the same result again. Finally, we can also pass in a list of tuples. So we're going to call the exact same method, and we're going to create a list, which is using the curly brace, the square brackets. The square brackets will create a list. So we're going to have a list of tuples. The first item is going to be the key, and then the second will be the value. And we'll just create two more of these. Then we run that again, we're going to get the same result. So those are four ways to create dictionaries. Your use case is just going to depend, but the curly brace is the one that's probably used the most often. So if we go ahead and print, we're going to get the value of our item by which A we set to 1. Now dictionaries are very useful in that each key in the dictionary doesn't care about what data type we're using, so we can nest different data types, including dictionaries within dictionaries. So what I'm going to do here is create a player's dictionary. Then just open up my curly braces. For this player, we're going to create a nested dictionary, so we need a new set of curly braces. And then we're going to put all of his stats inside the nested dictionary. Okay, so now we have a single player with all of his attributes, which are his stats basically, and his position and team. What I'll do now is just paste a couple more records into the player's dictionary. Okay, now we have a dictionary consisting of 3 players. Now finding a player inside the dictionary is just as easy as using the key lookup, which is the player's name. And then if we go ahead and print that, what we're getting back is the dictionary, the nested dictionary that contains all of his stats. Now, if I wanted just his position, that's also very easy to do using the key. So what we have to do is, since the value returned from the key lookup using the player's name returns us another dictionary, all we need to do is just pass the position in as the key lookup for the nested dictionary. So if we go ahead and do that, we're going to get second base returned to us. We can also use the dictionary key to actually add a new player to the dictionary. So if we wanted to add Mike Trout, for example, all we would need to do is just create a dictionary, set it to a new player's key, and we'll go ahead and fill in his stats. And once that is filled in, if we go ahead and print players, you'll see that Mike Trout has been added to the bottom of the dictionary. It comes out the bottom of the printout when we print out the dictionary. So here we're just going to create a little bit of separation to make this easier to read when we print future stuff out. So if we go ahead, we can go ahead and print Mike Trout. So obviously those are the same stats, 33 home runs, 306 average. So it's very simple to use dictionaries as a name lookup. I'm going to create a little bit more separation, and we can also convert from dictionaries to lists. Let's say we wanted just the names of the players, or actually, let's go ahead and grab a full players list. So creating a list, we're going to create a couple square brackets. So right now as that sits, that is an empty list. So we can use the Pythonic way to populate a list just by nesting it in. So let's go P for P in players. And since it's a dictionary, we need to call the items method. So that's going to convert from a dictionary to a list. And if we go ahead and print player list, now notice what we have is in square brackets over here, indicating that it is indeed a list. And one thing that we can do with a list is just look up by the index value, so we can grab whoever the first player is. So if we just pass in a 0, instead of the dictionary having the name as the key lookup, we can do it by, since we converted this, create a new variable, which is a list, we can list by index, and then that's going to return Giancarlo. Now, you can see that the value that we got returned, that is a tuple, but you could tell that by the whole thing is in parentheses. So the first item in the tuple is going to be the name, which is the original key. And the dictionary containing all the stats, that's going to be the second item in the tuple. We can just verify this by printing out the type. And you can see it returns us a data type of tuple. Now, if we wanted just the name, that would be pretty easy to do because we can pass the index inside to grab the variables inside the tuple. So if we went print, let's go ahead and copy this line. And then, so players list 0 is a tuple. We can just grab the name by taking the first item of the tuple, which is obviously 0 index. And that's going to return us the name. Now, if we wanted just the dictionary containing all the stats, we just pass a 1 for the second item, which is has an index of 1, and that's going to return the dictionary containing all the stats. Another way to iterate through this is, let's say we wanted just a list of the names. We can do that. We'll create a names list variable, and then set up our brackets because it's going to be a list. And similar to above, we're going to go P for P in players. Now, instead of calling .items, when we call .items, that's returning the entire thing. Remember, we had a dictionary nested inside of another dictionary, but if we loop through only the keys, which would be the names, that's going to return us only the names. Had an error here, so it has to be keys, not key. And now we have a list of just the names. Okay, now going back to our original players dictionary, we can see that we have 4 players. And recall that the players' names are the keys for each player, and then a nested dictionary containing the stats is nested inside the player's dictionary. Now, deleting a player from the player's dictionary is very easy. We just need to call the delete function, and that's as easy as calling. So del will be our function, and then all we need to do is pass in the name of the player we want to delete. And then if we just print out our list of names similar to what we did before, and I did have an error. I typed in make instead of Mike. And now that we try to rerun that, actually we need to print out the names. And now we're back to 3 players. So one dictionary item was deleted. And the final thing that we will be covering is updating and using defaults. This is a very powerful feature of dictionaries. So what we're going to do is create a default player. And then we're going to create a dictionary with default values. And we're going to set them all to none. Okay, so we got our default player dictionary. Now let's say we have a new player. Let's just call him Rookie. So we'll make a Rookie dictionary. And let's say we don't have any stats for this player, but we do have a position. Obviously, a rookie is a new player, so he won't have any stats at all. So I'll make him a shortstop, and then we'll just say he's on the Yankees. And we're going to create a new variable called Joe Rookie and set him to default player. And now if we want to just update with the Rookie dictionary, that's just as easy as calling joerookie.update. And update's a method that is a feature within dictionaries. And then so we're going to pass in Rookie. So basically the key values for position and team are going to overwrite. Then if we go ahead and print out our Joe Rookie variable, what we have is a dictionary that contains his team and position, while all the stats, since he doesn't have any, are still going to be set to none. And this covers working with dictionaries with Python. Thank you for watching.